Boom, and welcome back to this another episode of the Happy No Fear podcast. I'm your host, Chiggity Chase. And on this week's episode, I was able to sit down and catch up with my friend from Italy, who for many years has been traveling the world. He's been very active in the scene and goes way, way back and has been a contributor to the culture for a long time. And we're sitting on Hill Street in downtown Los Angeles, where he was about to wrap up a massive mural. He just got in from Singapore and was kind of on his way out to Peru, but we had a chance to sit down and catch up. So without further ado, I give to you 2501. En este momento, we are recording. Bo, brap, brap. So we're sitting, what's up, my man? Jacopo.
Grande Cesone.
Jacopo. When you're in the States and stuff, obviously people don't say vintage 501. What do they say?
Man, this name thing always was an issue, but in reality it comes to 501, and of course they mistake the number, but that's all over. That's
2407.
Yeah, or like 2051.
Yeah.
You're 2051. No, sorry, 2501.
Yeah.
But then,
Big difference.
but then it's like, or never 2501 because it's my Instagram.
Yeah.
So they call me Never. But at the end of the day, it's like,
It's just,
what it is.
yeah,
It's like,
it's a label.
yeah, exactly.
It gets funny like that. And
Yeah.
well, how'd you come up with that? Was it like a house address?
So
back in the day?
basically, when I was living in Brazil, I was coming up with this Robot Ink. That was my first tag that I was using after graffiti. So to paint kind of logotype in the street and faces, but not anymore letters.
Yeah.
And so I was doing stuff with it, and at a certain point I was kind of tired, first of all, of going around because it was such a colorful style and stuff. So what I was doing at the moment was to paint inside factories, abandoned factories and stuff like this in Italy and abroad. So it was like complicated to go with so many colors. And I was kind of tired of what I was doing at that moment.
Because you come also from traditional Wild South graffiti bombing.
I come from lettering, yeah.
From letters, right?
Yeah, I didn't do art school, and I did cinema school.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
And I come from letters, and I was painting train for maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
And I've painted in South America. I've painted in the New York subway.
Yeah, you painted the New York subway.
Yeah,
Oh,
I've
shit.
painted metro in Italy trains. And so that's how I started to...
Yeah. That was your intro
That was my intro to
making work.
painting,
Yeah,
let's say.
exactly.
And then from there I go to Brazil. I'm like 2021. I know a lot of people through graffiti
Yeah.
because I was there with my pictures of trains, basically with my video camera. There was a mini DV, and I know a lot of people, and there they are already on this street art.
Yeah.
Kind of, because Osgemius was painting with Lumit there in São
Osgemeus,
Paulo.
yeah, in the early-
Osgemeus
yeah.
and Lumit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, Lumit from the Great King from Germany.
yeah.
Wow, crazy.
Daim and Lumit were there
Yeah.
painting with these guys.
Yeah.
And then were Herbert Baglione painting
Yeah.
with Osgemius, Vice.
Yeah.
And they were not doing letters, they were like creating words, strange words on walls.
And
using
what
characters.
time is this we're talking when you lived in Brazil?
Before 2000.
Before, like, end of the 90s
Yeah.
and stuff. Yeah.
In the bridge between
Right.
the end of the 90s and the beginning of 2000. And the idea is that there I'm like, there is nomadic experiment. You should see on my site nomadicexperiment.com. That is the site that where all my video works are. There is this documentary that is why I start to film. So why I was around the world filming. And there are also footage from São Paulo and stuff, painting train, whatever. And there I'm like, I'm kind of bored of painting letters.
Yeah.
I really wanna. Letters were always a little bit too tight for me. I have to say that.
Restrictive.
Restrictive. I was trying strange stuff, and I was also not the best guy doing letters. Even if I paint really a lot of train, especially in Italy.
Yeah.
I was not. Was tight to me, and then from there, I started to do characters.
Yeah.
So characters,
Which is the next step.
Which was
It's
the
like,
next
let me
step.
try some character. Maybe I like that a lot better. Or
And when I came back to Milano from Brazil, 21, 22, like this, I meet Bo 130, Bo 130, Microbo,
Microbo,
that then make me know Gallo and London Police, and then of course you.
Yeah.
So that was all the moment where, and the Face was coming to Italy, and Nano was coming, Miss Van, there was this big moment in between 2003 and 2005, 6, that everybody was coming to Milan, and we have those big shows where Shepard Fairey paint a combo with blue, in Urban Edge show.
So blue also what a killer, huh?
Yeah. Wow. So there was a moment where
everything was bubbling, and there wasn't like 200 million street artists yet. There was like a golden time where everyone was doing their thing, and who was doing it had already been doing it for a number of years, and that was it. And the rest of the world kind of didn't know yet.
We were pushing this new idea of make intervention in the street that are not necessarily letters. That was it. And then was a golden moment to doing it. But then, of course, a certain moment was too restrictive for me also to like paint faces or I don't know, was not anymore what I was. I start with the line with a figurative style. But then in a certain moment, because I have to say that my real work as an artist, as I consider it today, it probably starts in between 2007 and 2010. Like the things that I really start to consider it as a branch of what I'm doing it now, what I want to say, because I'm a self-taught artist. I was working with media, so my work is about the process.
The process.
The process.
Yeah.
Like,
the process.
Yeah, what's the process of doing something?
Right.
The journey of doing something. Also because I get to art like this. I'm in a journey. I was in a 10 years journey to try. I make my own school of trying to understand what was. I had people that I was working with in the video world, and I was doing a lot of computer jobs because I come from cinema school. So special effect, 3D, Photoshop, whatever. So during the first 10 years, I was looking around.
Right, trying everything.
Everything.
Getting different ideas, flavors, possibilities from everywhere.
Then transition, 2007, 2010, like I want to be just an artist.
Yeah.
So there was the transition, stop to take works with computer. But I was making show from much before, like Urban Edge with Obey, with Blue, was 2005.
Yeah, you already were making work, but now you found something that is mostly you. You felt it somehow.
Yeah.
The beginning of that line work and the abstraction of things.
And also the jump of saying, I'm going to be 24-hour artist. I'm not working for cinema or for commercial anymore. Just my stuff.
Yeah.
Transition, so 2007, 2010, and then from 2010, I'm trying to do something else. And I feel that the figurative side of the process was too tight for me, and that I was working more on ideas, and I was working more with a visual vocabulary coming from cinema and special effect. For me, but I would say from cinema, because I did the school of cinema in Milano, so my idea is more about telling a story.
Right.
What's the story behind Move Around the Globe, behind the transition of graffiti, what they call street art, and then what we call new muralism. what's the difference? So my aim is to, yes, of course, is to paint, but the painting part is like a trigger to explore and document all the rest. So like,
Right, as a result of fully participating and making work and traveling around, you see it through that true lens of what's
Yeah.
actually going on.
exactly.
Yeah.
So the idea is to, with the nomadic experiment side, is to document all this part.
Right.
So there is a part that is the experiment, and in the experiment, I kind of use a video formula to make notes of ideas that I have in space around
Right.
the world. So I get a space and I do a sort of performance work that is filmed and documented, and I make this work because the idea behind this work that is explained, because all the video have like the title, where they are done, and what is the work about it. So what's the concept and how you make it. It is like you have like some
A dossier, like you have all the information you
Yeah.
need about that specific piece
Exactly.
within the video.
within
Yeah,
the video.
yeah.
So from there, you kind of start. I kind of start to catalog ideas, and after the first 10 years, because now let's say that I consider it 2010, 2009, 2020, so almost it's finished the first 10 years that I really consider it of a serious artistical work.
Right.
My point is to close it in a book, so this is what I'm working
I see.
right now in the last year and a half, and would take another year and a half more or less. And I'm trying to give this full idea, this full spectrum
Right.
of
The
what-
full presentation of these 10 years and what the
Exactly.
intent was, what it's all about. And this is now, you feel like after 10 years, there's that whole thing has been explored. We can now present it in its full breadth.
Yeah, in this
Right.
idea of how it was for
Very good,
me
yeah.
to be a nomadic artist.
Yeah, yeah.
Because what we have done in the last 10 years, and what also I have learned from other artists like Bo 130, Microbo, or Gallo, or Chaz from London Police, they were my models. I mean, and in terms of style, but also in terms of behavior. They show me what was the meaning of curating shows like Bo 130 and Microbo. They were curating those big shows that were super important for the Italian underground culture in that moment.
Right.
They invite the greatest artists of the panorama, etc. And so how they behave also
Yeah.
around.
And how they travel, how when there's a commission and this and agents and how to be, how to prepare, like the whole lifestyle, like you,
Exactly.
like through that group,
Exactly.
you learned all these things, yeah. Because that's the thing that that's the most difficult to learn. I think it's very scary for artists that want to paint and also become nomadic a bit. Like, how do you do that, right? And so I think a lot of people wonder, especially like in your case, there's a number of other cases of artists that really live in the world. Like you're in LA now, you just came from where?
From Philippines and Indonesia.
From Philippines and Indonesia. Now you're in LA, you did a massive wall downtown, and now you're moving on to Peru, and most people travel. Okay, I go to Paris, maybe I'll do a trip to London, and then I come back home, right?
Yeah.
And that's most people, and then most artists, let's be honest, they most of them can't even travel, right? So
Yeah.
to be on this side, that must be, must be a totally different experience. And I think there's probably something inside you that just trusts, right?
Yeah.
And is willing to take that risk to not know when you come back home,
Yeah.
right?
It's a process, and I think it changed during the year, because now I'm almost 40. I'm 39 this year, and it's different than 10 years ago. Of course, it's a privilege to be able to do it. In the same time, it's a big work.
Yeah.
And especially if I think it's a big work. It's like something that you have to really trust yourself,
Yeah.
and be really motivated.
Yeah. And
Because-
also know just enough people to begin with that you met. So, I have some people in Europe, I have some people in South America. That helps, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
And then when we start was totally another moment. I really don't know, and I can't really understand what it would be beginning now, like having
Yeah.
20 now.
I don't know if it's better or worse. I'm not sure.
I don't know. I think was for what I do today was better before, because when we were doing this, we didn't have any expectation of owning money with a
Right.
job,
That's exactly
with
right. yeah.
painting.
That's
so
the crazy thing about
it gives us the free mind to the freeness.
no
to,
expectation.
No
You just put
expectation.
the love out. I love it. Boom. I paint it. Bam.
Exactly.
And there's no worry about, well, I got to go there. I should go there. I should respond to this. I should earn money.
I think that this is what is happening right now. The figure of the artist in general have been leveled, or they are trying to level the figure of the artist as a doctor or as a. So those kind of maybe a doctor is the wrongest example, but like I would say like a manager or
Oh
like
yeah, you're saying by they you mean like people's perception of
people or like
they,
the society.
They think it's a career now.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. It could be also a career.
Yeah, it's just
but
weird that it is because I think some universities now are, muralism
yeah, there
and all
is
this
more
stuff.
and more this figure of the artist that is self-organized, that have
Yeah.
his studio and that moves project of like $100s and $100,000. And I don't know, man. I think that if the art is so involved with the market, it becomes a certain kind of art.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I totally
And
see what you're saying.
I'm not saying that the market is evil because I live with the market, but I think that would be healthy to have a kind of in-between situation.
Yeah.
Because otherwise art is becoming just as another product. And
And then it's like instead of making art because you just have to, and the art gives you so much joy. Now I think a lot of people think of themselves, no, I'm not an artist. Number one, I'm a brand, and I am gonna look really good on Instagram, and I'm gonna promote all the time. But then I won't paint that much because that's not that important. I like the idea of the brand. I think a lot of
Totally.
people think.
there are thousands of nuances of this kind of.
Yeah, and it's very strange to see when you accidentally go to or you check out like some of these people. It's like, wow, it's really well done, but I don't feel it. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
I think that's why sometimes it's useful also to get detached and to just give to your art some space and time to do other stuff if you can.
Yeah.
And then yes, as you said, anyway, we are in a privilege. We have a privilege that we can like do art and stuff. But in the same way, I think we should try to focus our energy also on other stuff, on a process of growth also in a way. And
You grew up, but I think your dad was a Tibetan Buddhist.
yeah,
This is very interesting.
I grown up in a Buddhist community.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I have to say I'm not like this guy that was practicing for all his. I started practicing for real maybe a couple of years ago, really. But I was always in the middle, and
But it must have been a big influence. I mean, just like
Totally,
anyone
for
that
sure.
grows up with a
For
certain
sure.
practice is influenced.
no, for sure.
And this is a very-
was
I-
a super big influence in my life.
Was
in,
there
in
any
a positive way, of course.
Was there any yelling in the house, or like I would
No.
yell, but I'm gonna meditate,
No,
or it
no.
wasn't that crazy?
No, my father and my mother are like the usual Italian that you can. No, they are like loud people.
That's good, yeah.
And I mean, I love my family. They are all super sweet, but no, they are. You're not gonna see them and first things you're gonna think, oh, these are Buddhist guys. But I think that's the good part of the Buddhist philosophy is that it's more a philosophy
Right.
than a religion, and in the same time, the philosophy. For example, when we were we are taking drinks, and you were saying sometimes we zoom in our life, and some really small things appear to be really big.
Right.
That's a really simple concept that everybody knows it.
Yeah.
And for example, this is a big part of Tibetan Buddhism.
Yeah.
This is something that you can hear in a teaching.
Yeah.
So in reality, that's why it's interesting, because
yeah.
it's something really
Because it's a way
practical.
to approach.
Yeah, it's an approach. Exactly.
Yeah, I read a lot of it, and I was really influenced by Eastern thought and Zen and all that stuff. When I moved here, you know, I read a lot of books, and I just wanted to, you know, connect. And so, yeah, I also agree with you. You know, there's certain focuses, certain attentions they place on certain things that mostly get overlooked, like the mosquito is a huge monster if you really zoom in on it.
Yeah.
Right. And I enjoy it for that reason too. You know, there's some practical, everyday stuff you can use.
Totally. It's a practical approach to your mind.
Yeah.
To deal with your mind at the end of the day. That is like the central control of your person.
Yeah.
And there are some tricks to understand it better. But what I was meaning, I'm not the big expert.
Yeah.
Like I just started doing it. I have to say it's like a couple of years, but I think it's a journey, and it's not made just of Buddhism. It's made of many things, and what I was meaning is like I hope for my heart that for my art that in the next 10 years I would be able to make more meaningful project and like try to develop other parts also of my art, giving space and time to, because as you said, when you are nomadic, it's super nice, and I think it's super good when you are more young to make experience.
Yeah, because it gets tiring.
It gets tiring, and also it gets, maybe you do it for 10 years and you get that idea. Then at a certain point for an artist, I think that an artist's life, and in general a life, is not just made of epic moment, but also of moment when you have your space, to do other stuff, to stop.
Doesn't matter. We had a little cut, and for a second there, we were like picking up on the thought, but I just realized without really looking at you that was then. We're recording now again.
Yeah.
That's very Buddhistic. It is. Right?
Yeah.
Because imagine if you really tried to piece it together where we were. That would be silly.
Yeah.
Right? So what? It's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Yeah, I like what you said about, we were talking earlier when we were at the other wall on Hill Street, that every painting, every mural it's a representation of time.
Yeah, because as I told you, was a process for me to learn what I was trying to express. And it took me kind of 10 years. And then on the beginning of the second cycle of another 10 years, there starting to realize that for me, painting was an idea that was embedded with the idea of action in a certain way. Like the graffiti paint, for me, painting is like a sport. That's how I see painting, because I always, if I remember, I don't remember many studio time for me. You know, it's like that's why I love monotype, because monotype it's so extemporaneo. So something that really records the moment. You cannot paint a monotype for 3 days because it will dry the color on the plexiglass. So
you have to be in that moment. Yeah.
You have maybe, 10 hours.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And so I start to realize that was the main thing of my work. Working with time and space.
Yeah, like you explained earlier, you know, it's really like, number one, how much time do I have, right? If I have 2.5 months to do a wall, that's one thing. But if I have 6 days, right, it's another. And then how you feel as well. And how you're going to solve that problem. That's your energy. The time energy is in the wall. It's kind of like a print.
We get back to the process. So recording the process, telling the journey of doing something, telling what's the journey behind creativity, behind an idea. That's why also I like to work with abstract, because abstract is something that really changed a lot. Also in the perception of the people. Work a lot with the shadows, for example, of the street, the architectural part of the city, and it's something that more than say something starts a dialogue.
Yeah.
Like an abstract piece start a dialogue, kind of. Especially when it's in the street.
Yeah, in the street, it's saying different things all the time, depending on when you look.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
And then this kind of abstract, my kind of abstract, in a way, many people, as you before, look at my piece sometimes and say to me that it looks like a tree, a cutted tree.
Yeah.
And then again, you see, it's time.
Yeah.
That's like
the rings of the tree.
Yeah.
Is how you just say, yeah. And that's what's
Other people tell that it's like the paper where you write music. I don't know how you call it.
sheets.
Yeah.
Music. Yeah. That too. Yeah.
That's
the
time
lines,
again, you know.
And it's what's so interesting about your brushwork is that you really feel. You know, I think that's something that really communicates a lot to people. Probably. You feel every brush stroke.
Yeah, that's
Right?
the...
So you feel, you're like here, you see where it starts, you see where that moment started, and
Yeah,
also where
totally.
it ended. That's very
Totally.
nice. And you get that less, let's say, if you use spray or if you
Of
don't
course.
reveal the brush, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. That's like exactly the idea is to try also to break a bit the idea of having a sketch.
Yeah.
So to try to improvise and to make it kind of physical in a way, because also if I'm making a circle, most of the time it's a circle, especially in this kind of size that fit my arm, and it's like revealing a sort of maps of that moment.
Yeah.
I'm kind of happy with this because
Yeah,
the color,
this is dope.
the
I
color
really,
give you a lot of possibility more.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah.
on that way, you
And
know.
especially it's so nice because you were aware that people are going to be like nose to nose with this huge wall. That, you know, all the right details are everywhere, and I love that when the brushes goes to like mostly water. That is a very interesting effect here.
I think that one is the most interesting part of this way of painting. And I have to say the truth, I want to push it more, and that's why you need, because for example, for a style like mine, for example, if you paint a figurative or like a certain kind of abstract, you can do a lot of sketch and go forward with your work.
Yeah.
But this kind of work is unsketchable.
Yeah.
It's something
Oh, yeah.
that you have to
Yeah.
go and do your sketches on big walls.
Yeah.
Because the fading, it depends from what wall it is. So here are all the step of my process in those years. And that's why I'm trying to have more free time to...
To experiment even further.
Yeah.
Do you when let's say this is a commission, when there's a client involved, you know, is it difficult for them to trust you, or is that something that's understood when they contact you to begin with? That they have to trust you.
I have to say the truth. In my experience, is 93% always have been good and smooth, but then there are these 7-10% of time that don't go smooth.
Yeah.
That are like, that can be hard, you know.
Yeah.
But until now, in my experience, I have to say, was always
Smooth. Yeah.
smooth.
And
yeah.
that's the best way.
Yeah, because of course it's stressy to go out and painting a wall and have like a client that ask you maybe a different color or
Yeah.
whatever. But this it never almost happen if you are clear.
Yeah.
But there are some times that you should be prepared.
Yeah. Yeah, because it requires a lot of trust. Because it's hard to anticipate what it is they liked to begin with, and I'm sure they give you some examples of, hey, we really respond well to this. But in the end, like it's
There
not,
are also big clients. I have to say the truth, that like asking to artists that you know. So an artist that somebody suggests you, or you saw it online, or you know it. So you are calling to him for a piece and you want to tell him what to do, it's kind of strange, whatever, but it's kind of old-fashioned.
Yeah.
It's like there are many agencies and people and that just don't ask you. Like,
Yeah.
maybe they say to you, for example, I'm gonna go I will do a work in the next 6 months, and they were like, no, do whatever you want, but we would like that you do a piece on black. They asked me a black and white piece, but they don't want to see a sketch.
Yeah.
So maybe in the future will be more clear. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it will be, because part of the process is responding to the moment and being in the moment.
No, it's also, as we said before, art. They trying to say that art is like another work, and you have to. They want to do a product. So if you want a commercial really exactly as you want it, why you call me? Call a graphic designer, they will make a pattern, and then you call an agency, they will transfer that pattern on the wall, and you're done.
Yeah, this is right. Yeah.
USA is full. If you call an abstract artist that is specialized in mural, I mean, you have to know that.
Yeah, you have to know that from the get-go, for sure. Yeah. No, it's interesting. I can't believe how much the world has changed. Even, just go to any city now, there's like hundreds of pieces.
Yes, man.
It's still, and I know you go way back too. So it's like, and since we're talking about the energy with which we were creating then, as opposed to sometimes now, especially when you start now, I think, how crazy is that, huh? The world is now filled with, not filled yet, but everywhere you go, it's a thing now.
It's boring, man.
It's I don't know how I feel.
I think I feel bored.
Yeah, it's so expected now.
Yeah, man. It's like, and I'm doing it commission, and but I always try to. I don't do it so much, and I always try to just take those jobs that seems to me that can be. You can work with the architect, or it's interesting in some sort of way.
Yeah.
But I have to say the truth, it can be boring also, because there is needing of renovation, but it will be always like this, It's a matter of phases too.
Yeah, I wonder what's gonna happen with all this. Will the work get even crazier and better, and who knows? Or is it all of a sudden going to be, well, that's it seems a little bit, passé. Not to us, but to all these people,
I think that a little bit for us that we were doing it, specifically for us, it's gone. When I see things that I was seeing, I'm going like, I'm gonna exaggerating a bit, but like 15 years ago, I was seeing the kings of kings doing this.
Yeah.
We were talking about David Ellis or those green, blue.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's...
There is nothing that impressed me that much on muralism today. Because back in the day, they were pretty hardcore, man.
And it was such a big difference,
Yeah,
from where we were and where they were.
If you look now to the videos of Barnstormers, of Blue.
Yeah.
Those videos kick ass strongly today,
Muto. Incredible.
So what we are talking about, it doesn't seem that the scene get bigger, not better.
Yeah. There's a lot of great work happening too.
Of course.
But because it was so original back then, and so strong.
So all good artists, they were always good artists, people that knows how to draw.
Yeah.
But now there are many people that are doing it.
Yeah.
It's not so special anymore.
Yeah. It waters it down
and
a bit.
It looks little bit all the same. Also, if there are great artists.
Yeah.
But for example, from the urban, and I will not say street artists, but people that do art now and comes from a urban background, the one that I like it most are not just the people that are really doing murals.
Yeah.
I don't know, it comes to my mind Loloi Susaku or Moza.
Yeah.
People that is experimenting also, Jorge.
Yeah.
more, you know. So those guys are interesting, but like straight gigantic murals, straight ahead like this. And I'm doing it. I'm one of the guys that is.
No, I know what you're
But
saying.
that what I'm doing right now is it's an old thing. So if we are shooting a video that explains something about the work, I mean, that's my way of
Advancing it.
Advancing it,
Yeah.
exactly. Because otherwise, I get bored.
Yeah, you got to keep it fresh for yourself, but whatever that is, you know.
Exactly.
And that's true. But yeah, I would still like to see. We don't see it ever, but like this wall, huge wall, like a city block, this tall, but just like a detail of a massive wild stuff. Just even that I want to see. You know, I think that would be super, super interesting. You know, there's little bits and pieces of like the things that we grew up loving, you know, but like massive and cut off and just that, you know, I would like to see that.
Totally.
I would totally like to see that. So yeah, your next stop now is Peru, and that's a little retreat.
Yeah,
a little back to one.
I'm going to chill there for like 20 days, and that's more or less it.
Yeah.
I don't usually speak about
Oh,
it.
we don't have to talk about it.
I talk it more with my friends.
Yeah. No, that's totally fine. We don't even.
You know why? Because I think I don't want my idea. I don't want to push something to people.
Yeah.
An idea that is something that I am exploring myself.
It's a personal thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So when I talk to my friends and stuff, I usually say it.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think that the spiritual journey is something that should arrive to you in a little bit more direct way.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
not so
rather
so spread off. In the net.
It will find you. You know, all these things will find you when the time is right.
Exactly, because these things are so personal that sometimes I'm wondering myself. For example, that's my thought, maybe again. But when I was a kid, I was like hearing songs about weed all the time.
Songs about weed, like reggae and shit.
Yeah,
about
reggae or rap stuff. And that's at the end of the day, you think like that's a personal thing. You know what I mean? It's like it's something that should be revealed.
Yeah, it's like singing about vitamin C.
Yeah,
like I take my vitamin C. So what?
You know what? You know what I mean?
In a way, yeah. Because there's a signaling that's involved with that. Like,
I think yes, man. I think it's interesting to see how everything is kind of spread out and talk about it.
Yeah.
It's public. Your life is public.
Yeah.
I think that some stuff should be
private garden,
private with your friends.
Yeah,
it's something that.
Yeah. No,
I'm trying also to be. There are lots of stuff about this energy thing that are interesting, I think. And the idea, but anyway, the idea is more or less this. It's like, I think that some stuff should be with you.
Yeah, we were talking about, how much do you feel like sharing? And I think there's a big cultural thing now happening where if I don't feel that you like me or you love me, I don't even know who you are, and I need validation. That's really, it's a strange position to all of a sudden be in. Where all these people are reaching out and saying, hey, love me, like me, appreciate me. My life is so great.
But
right?
More than this is like, we are in a moment where everybody talks all the time.
Right.
So like everybody have output all day long.
Yeah.
So it's not about love or appreciation. It's about, should I output everything?
Yeah.
Or should I be selective on what I output to the world?
Right.
Because there is a pollution. That's pollution, Everybody's affected. When you open Instagram or whatever social media, there is always something more interesting. There is another place that is more beautiful where you are.
Yeah.
The expectation rise up.
Yeah.
So it's about this, it's about,
You know, I know what you mean.
You know?
Yeah. If you're not careful, there's envious feeling. Like, man, this guy's fucking on vacation. This one, whatever
but
it
you
is.
think that when they were improving all these,
No, yeah, they you know.
I think there is.
I don't really look at it like that, but I know most people do, and it's strange to contribute to that. But at the same time, you don't want to say, "Hey, I have my troubles too." You know, you don't want to talk about the things that are really good or the things that are really bad, because you don't want to make anyone feel.
But because
a certain way. Or do you?
for talking, you have to talk in person.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the idea.
Right.
Otherwise, it becomes something really crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, and you feel that from
Man, we need disintoxication.
Yeah.
That's normal.
Yeah.
That's what it's all about it. Also, my staying in Peru is about that.
Yeah.
You've been in the jungle for like 25 days. You don't have internet, and you just sort of retreat, meditation.
It's a good thing.
And man, your body respond to that.
Yeah.
Respond to nature.
Yeah.
Wherever you go, it doesn't need to go to Peru.
Right.
But we are like in the middle of fucking cities. I'm from a city. I was living in São Paulo, so it's like Brazil.
Yeah.
So I mean, that's the point. That's why I think that we should be more tuned on many things. But I always fail. That's the other part. I always fail on my behavior because I have so many thinking that I would like to be like this or like that, but I always fail.
Yeah.
And the other part is also to start to be judgmental on yourself because you fail.
Yeah.
That's about life.
It's all part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can everyone gets down. Everyone is like so self-critical, or
Yeah,
you know,
totally.
I should be more. I should be more in the moment. I should be more zen,
Totally.
or I should be more this or more that.
Totally.
You know? So yeah, next time you're here, I've been trying this sensory deprivation
Sure.
tank. Did you hear about this one?
I hear it, but I never tried it.
Yeah. We will go next time. I think it's also a good way to really snap out of the craziness and the thinking, and you're just in a salt water bath.
Same temperature of your body.
Oh yeah, and so you really begin to float, and then you have the ideas of how long is this gonna take? Should I post about this on my Instagram? All these stupid thoughts, and then you finally get out of everything. You know, because it's pitch black, you can't hear anything. And the handful of times that I've done it, a few of those times, speaking about time, I found myself like really floating, but it wasn't me, you know, it was like this, my energy, whatever it is, you know, like a cloud of energy or something, and just floating. And I went way out into space, and I could feel the weight of time.
Totally.
Like how old things are, the weight of, you know, that was something.
Everybody talked me really good about.
Yeah, I think you would
Yeah.
dig it. Do you meditate and stuff too? Or?
Yeah, I meditate a bit, but again, I'm not this big meditator.
I always try. But
I try, but that's something that takes time and effort.
Yeah.
And
But they say you do 15 minutes a day. It's very
yeah, that's what I'm doing.
just to
with
make
some-
that practice.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do. Meditation is, I think, it's like painting.
Yeah.
I think that you can start talking about painting after the first 10 years that you paint.
Yeah.
And then it's like every 10 years at the end of the day.
Yeah.
So meditation is the same,
Yeah.
at least 10 years. And I'm not even in the second. And again, I'm not this big meditator. But I want to attend. It's fun. Also because it gives a lot of result.
Yeah.
That's the nice part. You feel it. You feel your body. You feel your mind. It's another experience. It's nice as painting or as...
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you get into line work or like details or like whatever you're doing when you're painting, and you really just only think about that for some reason. And then sometimes it's completely on feeling, so there's no thought sometimes.
Yeah.
It's just those are special places for sure.
Totally.
Yeah. Sí, señor. 2501.
Cesone.
Good to see you, man.
Grande. What a nice talk. Really.
Yes, for
Really
sure.
interesting.
I'm glad you could do it. We got to get you somewhere. So that's it, folks. Tell everyone real quick, not to go back into the matrix, but where can people find you online?
So my site is www.2501.org.uk, and my video site is nomadicexperiment.com, and my Instagram is never2501.
Bam,
You get
that's
everything.
it. Everything, man. We'll see you there.
Bravissimo.
Ciao, ciao.
Un
Bye.
abbraccio.
Bye.
Boom, that was 2501 in Italian. Always a funny translation there. But yeah, hope you dug that. Hope everyone's safe. These are crazy, crazy, weird, strange times. You know, we're all inside on lockdown. Hope you're keeping your sanity and that this eases the difficulty a little bit. As always, you can find us on Instagram at Happy No Fear, and I'm, of course, as always, at The Art of Chase. Hang in there. Things will pass, and things will get better. As you know, they will. So until next week, bye-bye.